Yo, what's the word, man? Welcome into episode 5 of the Gotti Show. Happy New Year to all. I guess it's Happy New Year. You know, for me, my New Year didn't start so New Year-ish. That's not even a word. My New Year didn't start so much of a New Year. I've been sick since December the 26th. December the 26th, I started to notice that I didn't have taste or smell. And then after that, y'all, it just kind of got worse. I'm still coming over it right now, but I think that I have passed the thick part of this new influenza flu that has been going around. New York and New Jersey was hit number one over the end of the year, headed into the new year with this flu. I don't know what I had. I don't know if it was the flu mixed with COVID. It was a lot going on, but I did not have taste or smell, which was very, very weird. You don't think about how we eat so bad just because we have been accustomed to doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been accustomed to eating things for so many years. And when I say things, I mean like all of these foods. Let's just think about soul food, for instance. Like, when I was sick, I didn't have the mindset that I wanted to go eat some collard greens and some fried chicken. But like on a normal day, I may be craving that. But you know, when I was sick, the only thing I wanted was nothing really. But I had to force myself to eat, like, you know, chicken noodle soup. I was going to get the Spanish chicken soup. I feel like stuff like that with like herbal and nutrients can kind of bring you back. I'm always trying to eat like fruit and things of that nature, but really you don't have an appetite for anything, so you're forced to eat. And I was just like, yo, you know, this just helps me it just helps me know that it's not as hard as I think it is to try to eat healthy. Like, we complain about it, but what if we didn't have taste or smell? So man, that's been my new year for the past, today's January 5th, the past 5 days of this new year. I have been sick dealing with this flu, man. And I know a lot of y'all have as well. My whole TikTok algorithm turned into everybody talking about this new flu. But y'all, we made it through. It's a new year. We're out of that 9-year cycle. From that 9-year, this is 2026. I think it's funny that a lot of people always do like the New Year's resolutions. This is the time where like the gyms are packed. This is the time where the stores, like your Trader Joe's and all of these stores that are supposed to be somewhat healthy, are always like packed out of the ass. You know, you can't find you can't find salads and stuff like that. And so all the healthy foods, everybody on their healthy kick, you know, New Year's resolutions, vision boards, just the whole nine. And it was just funny to know that, man, on New Year's, I was laying in the bed. Like, the only thing that notified me that it was New Year's was they were shooting fireworks outside of the window. I pulled the curtain back, looked, and was asleep before 12:05, man. It is just crazy how, you know, is it that we depend on New Year's resolutions or January 1st to be the day that we start something new. I think that at any point throughout that year, you know, you should be able to start or stop something that you are trying to achieve, or a fitness goal, or, you know, eating healthy, like whatever it may be. Getting rid of friends, you know, that's another one of the big things that people always say. I'm not taking people with me in the new year. I'm not taking this relationship. I think we miss the point of, we can do that at any day of the week, at any hour of the day. We do not have to wait until the end of the year to leave. But, you know, it always is good to thank God that we've been kept for another 365. But I just find it weird that, you know, we think we have to wait until January 1st or December 31st rather to start living new and acting brand new. And I'm just a prime example. You know, I ain't even start my New Year's like that. My New Year's is in the bed sick. You know, I couldn't start on no gym kicking, nothing like that. But, you know, at any point in time, I want y'all to know that you can correct things that you do not like. You don't have to wait until the end of the year or New Year to do those things. And then one of the leading ones that I'm going to go into is leaving friends behind. But this is the Gotti Show. This is episode 5. All right, so a big thing, you know, at the end of the year, people like to say, I'm changing my number. I don't want to talk to this group of people. I don't want to hang out with this group of people. I'm just going to be brand new, this, that, and the third. And, you know, when it comes to me, I didn't have to do that this year. Y'all just sit here and did the whole first half of the show. Well, I guess I'm not wearing a watch. So, you know, the first thing people love to say is, I'm going to stop hanging with this person, stop talking to this person. I'm not carrying them into the new year with me. When it comes to me, I don't think that was my resolution this year. You know, everybody feel like that at the end of every year, it's these same traditions we have to follow, and that's eating your black eyed peas, eating your greens, or eating the grapes under the table. Like, it's a bunch of different things that people have and that they believe in that will help them prosper into the new year. And by all means, do what fits you. But I think that a lot of people in today's time have grown from all of those traditions and waiting until the new year to, like, remove friends from your circle is a main one. So let's talk about like how friends fade. Years we always people say, oh, I don't talk to them anymore. I didn't bring them over into the new year. I didn't carry them over. Over time, you just outgrow certain relationships. You just outgrow certain people. It's not always beef when you decide to depart from a friendship or a relationship. I think that we are now learning to not just accept the mediocre friends, and a lot of us are just not dealing with it. So just know that if you feel like you got left in the past, or this friend moved on and this, that, and the third, hey, it ain't always no beef. If you see them out, say what's up, holler at you in the streets. Like, it ain't always no beef that y'all fell out. But, speaking on the friends tip, I want to shout out to one of my friends who, asked me to be the best man in his wedding. Shout out to my boy Brian Miller and my sis Joe. They are getting married this year in 2026. Asked me to be the best man. Of course, I accepted it. Brian is somebody that I have been friends with since, seventh grade in middle school. Honestly and truly, it's funny because being B wasn't even really cool back then. I think we became cool once we went to high school and we both did some growing and, just finally talked to each other. We realized that we actually cool as fuck and like really like each other. So I just want to say shout out to B Miller for asking me to be in his wedding, man. Congratulations. I love to see people in their 20s really pursuing love. This is actually one of my second friends in this age group that I would say I've seen that I know that's getting married. Of course, my cousin, she's married. I had a couple cousins that's married, but when it comes to my age group and somebody that I know, one of my friends, this is like my second friend that I've seen that get married. And I'm actually able to be a part of this wedding. So we finna have a time, number one. Number two, it's just good to see love, because I think that we get caught up in, oh, you're too young. I don't know what's going on. This, that, and third. Nah, it's certain people that know when it's ready to lock it, when it's time to lock it down, and when they're ready to lock it down. And when you feel like you're in that space, go ahead and do it, because they hard to come by these days. They are hard to come by these days. But I'm sending them nothing but love and positivity. Longevity. We're gonna have a good time at the wedding. That's number one. We finna have a time. Now, speaking of the wedding, I'm gonna need a personal trainer. I ain't start my New Year's resolution like everybody else do in the gym and all of that stuff. So I need to be a personal trainer. I got about roughly 7 months, 7, 8 months before the wedding, but I need to hit my goals in 6 months. Not only for the wedding, I got some other things coming up at the end of the year that I need to be right for. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sticking over this cold. Yeah, I need a personal trainer. Now, I've been using these websites to try to find a personal trainer, but they've been so pushy. Like, how do you get into a trainer that's online? Like, how do you do virtual training? So you telling me every day I come into the gym, I got to set up a tripod, I got to set up my phone and everything to connect with you? Nah, what happened to a personal trainer that's there with you, helping you, telling you, hey, give me 6 reps of this, 6 reps of that, 6 reps of that, and then repeat. Da-da-da. Like, what happened to that? Like, that's what I remember. I know, with the way the world is going, that's probably the easiest route out. But I need a trainer in New York. New York, what's happening? So Donald Trump has made an attack on Venezuela. They have blocked air traffic in space. They have blocked the air traffic, so there will be no flights going back and forth to those islands and places. I actually have a friend right now that's in Trinidad and Tobago's. It's actually scary that just, you can be on vacation, or in his case, working, because he is a flight attendant, and, you just get caught somewhere because of the disagreements and the things that are going on within this government. Now, I'm not too woke on what this may become, but I do know that it has turned a lot of heads. Kamala Harris have spoken out about it. So I just want to say, man, everybody stay safe. For those that are stuck abroad, praying for you. But, speaking of Donald Trump, it's just always something. And, Nicki Minaj has been one that have seemed to be falling for his traps. I think the internet is trying to set it up and say, she met with Erika Kirk, wife. The last time we spoke, I brought it up. And, I didn't get to see it then because I believe it was going on live when I was taping. I got out of here and seen it. And of course, social media tried to paint a lot of their narratives about why she's been meeting with these people. I think when she came out, she made it clear that it was about stepping up for the face of injustice and the killing of Nigerians. And, she have a Nigerian pastor, I think that was where her stance was with that. And the internet kind of tied her into everything else that's going on with the MAGA political party. And they have put all of those views and everything that has gone wrong onto her back. And I think that is kind of fucked up because when it comes to politics is a weird game. We've been taught for so long that we as black people should always be Democrats and white people are always Republicans. It goes back to, even how I was taught in school. It's always been taught that one party was greater than the other. And I think that when we really look into it and get into it, that really ain't the case. It's some familiarities on both sides and similarities on both sides that, go co in hand together that is not right, when it comes to being a Democrat or a Republican. Now, I do think that that's a problem that is outside of most people tax brackets that's discussing it. That's number one. Also painting the narrative that, she may be needing a citizenship. I believe that she was granted a citizenship once she married Kenneth Petty. Right or wrong? Is that not how this works? So paint a narrative that she may be needing that, or she's trying to get a pardon for her brother because of his sexual allegations and the things that happened with that. I know that the accuser allegedly came out and said that it was all about a shakedown and wanted money in the end. So people have been trying to paint that narrative, but I think that we're missing the point of what she came out and said from the jump. And that's just going to go back to, she has a Nigerian pastor. So we don't know what ties or things that he knows that's going on in Nigeria that they were trying to speak for and work for. Now, sitting with Erika Kirk at Turning Point, we know what these things represent and what they're about. But again, this is politics. Everybody views it's not going to be the same. Another big thing that happened was her saying, boys should be boys. Now, of course, social media chopped that clip up. But for me seeing the whole thing, it wasn't about a transsexual type of thing or a gay agenda. It wasn't any of that. It was asked, being that you have a son, what do you think about little boys? She said, hey, I think boys should be boys, so on and so forth. You guys seen the clip. I'll play it here.
Boys, be boys.
Amen.
Be boys. It's okay. Be boys. It's nothing wrong with being a boy.
Amen.
How about that?
Amen.
How powerful is that? How profound is that?
Amen.
Boys will be boys, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So you guys see that, and it's just more so of a thing of how did we go from that to the big thing that it turned into online that, okay, Nicki is anti-trans, she's anti-gay, and her fan bases are mostly this or that. She came out to let her fans know, hey, you don't have to agree with everything that I do. This isn't about a stance of this or that. This is political. And I think that politics has always been the driving force and what has kept a lot of people separate for so many years. And excuse me, I am one that I think that if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, your political views do have to align. But imagine walking down the street every day. You know how many people you walk past that did not vote for the same person you did because they're not dealing with the same problems you're dealing with of your walks of life? Now, when it comes to everything that I've seen, the black people have been saying, it has been about the food stamps, this, that, and the third. I think that people are mad because they are not allowing you to abuse the system. Not everyone come from that. Not everyone had the luxury of having that. And I think now as years progress, they see how much money has been going into certain places that is not benefiting or profiting. Yes, there's so many other things that you can be worried about. I don't know the whole thing about the removal of, the trans and gay rights. I don't know that because it's not nothing that's really affecting me. And I think that's how a lot of people think. But the problem that I have with that is when we come onto social media and we attack public figures for joining forces for other things that are going on in their lives that they may feel that they can get an advantage from a political party, I think we need to leave that alone because no one speaks until it is affecting them. Now, as for the gay and the trans, I think they're doing their own thing by standing in and speaking about the injustices that they're facing. But what can you do at the end of the day? Nicki Minaj is bigger than Nicki Minaj. The problem is from with the president. He just overthrown the government when it came to the Venezuela shit. So when it comes to Nicki, I think we gotta chill and just stop giving these artists too much. And it's just not just Nicki. And I'm tired of having to come here and report about it. But it's just like she's the punching bag. Nicki, that's all you seen. Nicki, 50. Messing with Clarissa, you see Finesse 2 times. Like nothing's going on in pop culture. Finesse, what I don't know what Finesse is doing. I guess it's a little entertainment. You know, Northwest, she is following in Kanye's footsteps, produced the song. You know, you got NLE Chopper just still antagonizing Young Boy. It's just a lot of things that just are like low-hanging fruit that I think that social media puts so much light on, and then it gives us so many opinions and so many views on it. Like, if we just close the internet for 2 days, I wonder how we would fare within this world. Like, somebody asked me, do I ever think that we would go back to post-internet days? And I was like, what do you mean post-internet days? Because you got to realize we were the internet babies. You know, the internet had came out like mid 90s, early 90s, it was kind of developing certain things, but the search web and history of like the internet and using social media like MySpace and Facebook and all of these things that came on early on, you know, then hence you would get your Snapchats and your Instagrams and things like that. I think that, you know, those early days of like Facebook and MySpace, those were the days where we didn't know where this was going. Now it's like every app has an agenda or every app serves a purpose. So when the question arises, do I ever think that we can go back to pre-internet? No, I think we're doomed. I think like I say this all the time, my age bracket is the last of the dying breed. Like I seen, you know, what a cell phone was before it was ever a touch screen. I seen what it was before, you know, the keypads where you can just type letters out like on the BlackBerry. I seen the flip phones and stuff prior to that. You have to click the letter to get to the button that you need. So ABC, you need to get to C, you got to press it 3 times. And, you know, we typing and filling it out. Like, I come from the era of typewriters. Like I come from the era of all of these things, but I also grew up in a time where I seen an advancement. I also grew up in a time where I seen, you know, television go from just the simple television that it is to at nighttime, you know, if you go to a channel, they might not even have enough. They didn't have enough money. This is how networks were. They didn't even have enough money to run. I don't know. I wouldn't say they have enough money, but they would stop running programs after a certain time. You would have the colorful screen, you know what I'm saying, the standby screen. This here, you would have that come on your screen. Like I remember, you know, not being able to see certain shows because parents had parental control on them, and you know it would be black and white. The same would appear. So it was just like, you know, I seen it go from that to now having apps like BET Plus where you don't have to go to BET to watch certain programs. You can go on BET Plus and watch the reruns of all of these shows. You don't need to watch, you know, like for instance, when Martin was airing, it was a weekly thing, or not even things like Martin, like 106 in Park. What are other shows that, you know, excuse me, like shows like Martin, your sitcoms, your 106 in Parks, like all of these things, they now live in a place on an app like Tyler Perry. You can go to BET Plus and watch all of Tyler Perry plays. Back in the day, we grew up on having to watch that either on the VHS or the DVD player. You had to go and physically buy these things. So just that aspect alone, I seen how far that has advanced within a small matter of 15 years. You know, I seen the internet develop. I seen more apps come into play. I seen YouTube go from me having to go to a web page and type www.youtube.com, and then you have to go to Google and then go to YouTube broadcast yourself. Then you would type in a song from your favorite artist and it ain't even a video. It's a Microsoft Flipagram, a Microsoft PowerPoint with the words of the song going. Like I've seen how far we've come, but I've also really have grew accustomed to what we have. So I don't think that we would go back to a place where technology, for instance, will change. Technology is going to continue to grow and it's only going to get worse. Like Twitter was recently under fire because of Grook posting some images that were inappropriate, but that's another thing of technology is AI. You can produce everything now with AI. People are even doing like for instance sets. This set is not 3D. People are doing 3D sets with AI. It's so much stuff you can do with AI, and I think that we got caught up in just the chat BT of it all, but it goes deeper into technology. So I don't think that we would ever go back to pre-internet, but what I will like to see is I would like to see black sitcoms, and not just black sitcoms. I would like to see TV shows and networks put these TV shows together and give us, real daytime TV back. Give us real late night talk shows. Excuse me, because Stephen Colbert and all of these shows was canceled. Give us that feel of what the world needs back. I think we get too caught up in what's going on the internet and removing ourselves from actual society and going outside and touching grass. Like it's certain things that is important that I feel for development. Like, for instance, SpongeBob. Why SpongeBob looks so 3D, y'all? When we was little, they used to have to draw sheet papers for the SpongeBob episodes. Those were handwritten, hand-drawn. Like, now, ain't no kid probably enjoying that. We enjoyed the simplicity of SpongeBob. Now he a whole 3D character, just like they did with the Lilo and Stitch. I understand moving with the times, but it's a lot of things that I think we put too much effort into or trying to change and overcorrect that we mess it up. Like we lose the magic. Like then you see with restaurants, they want to bring back all of these old moments and menu items that they used to have. KFC, they bring back the potato wedges and things like this. All of it is great marketing, but why remove those things that were staple items that people really enjoyed and cared for? And then now it's a reboot. Now it's this. And I think that's just the problem with everything. I think we grew too much and we got caught up in technology and we lost the sense of producing. We lost the sense of acting and everything. But I just am hoping and first seeing for 2026 that we get a lot of that back. For instance, the Upshaws on Netflix. The Upshaws on Netflix was a great sitcom. I think that it gave a good look for black people. That was a black family, but that show unfortunately came to end because of allegedly Wanda Sykes wanting her real life to be shown and transcend onto camera versus having to live and act the character. Because on the show, she's married to a man, and in real life, she's married to a woman. It was one of the main things that happened in the writer's room was the scripts. They couldn't agree with that. I think that we've made everything over, I would say hypersensitive. Like, I remember a time where, if somebody was gay, it was gay. If somebody was trans, they was trans. Like, that was just what it was. Now I feel like it's so hypersensitive that we have to meet everybody's needs and they have to get something versus the old days when if we're acting, your personal life don't matter. You here to act. So that just knowing that was the cause and effect of that, it just goes to show how everything is becoming, like I say, hypersensitive. Like we have to be careful and case sensitive of what we say and how we do this or how we promote this. And like the Me Too moments, everybody is that. So I just really hope that for this year, being that we in January, and like I'm already seeing the things that are going on, I just hope that we can recenter and don't start left. Let's keep it on, excuse me. Let's keep it on the right track. Let's just keep moving forward. So I want to talk about faring in a workplace, like coexisting in a workplace with people that you don't like. Listen, everybody going to a job not liking somebody. It's going to be cliques. There's always drama, no matter how you flip it, where you working at, who it's with. But the problem that I have is how jobs feel like you are supposed to be their slave, but when it comes to you needing something, they don't want to meet in the middle. And I think that's why I have had so many jobs and I will continue to have a million jobs because for one, I shouldn't be working a job. Well, everything's a business. I should not say that. But when it comes to working a 9 to 5, my outside life is going to always be more important. There will always be another 9 to 5. So, when it comes to workplace drama, I don't deal with it. All right, so I got a little rapid fire. You got to excuse it. We don't have no cue cards, but it's all right. I got the rapid fire right here. So, first rapid fire. First to text, me or them? Me. Last to reply, me or them? Probably me. Cancel plans, okay or nah? Yes, canceling plans is always okay. I think a lot of people get caught up in like, oh, I don't do. Hey, listen, if you call me before and be like, hey, I don't think we can do it, let's reschedule, I'm always down to do that. Now, if I didn't spend some money or I didn't schedule it, or I didn't set it up, don't cancel it. But if you made plans for us and then you want to cancel it, hey, I'm all cool with that. Spill the beans, always or never? Never. Don't spill the beans. Share a secret, yes or no? No. Okay, I'll go back. So spilling the beans, yes, I will spill the beans, but sharing a secret, no, because it's a secret. Why would you share a secret? Road trip, do you plan it or you wing it? I'm always planning my road trips because you gotta know where you're going. Birthday gift, thoughtful or funny? I'm gonna think a birthday gift should always be thoughtful because, well, I'm not gonna say that. I would say a birthday gift should always be thoughtful because you want to get the person what they want. It's their birthday. You don't never want to buy something and somebody like, oh, this is not what I asked for, or this is not what I want. Then again, it's their birthday. But you can always throw some fun in. Group chats. Are you active or the lurker? It depends. I don't even like group chats. I'll mute group chats because why we, everybody just be talking, or then some people be sitting back and not talking, like you had your lurkers, then you just had three people that's talking. So I always sit back in a group chat. Tell them how you feel face-to-face or over text. I'm a face-to-face type of person because if you ignore me on text, we gonna have a problem. Listen more or talk more? I think I'm actively good at both. Late night calls, love them or hate them? Depending on who you is, like, you know how like when you're in a dating stage and y'all sleeping on the phone and y'all doing FaceTime and shit like that, that's always fun. Travel buddy, do you like an organized one or a spontaneous one? My travel buddies are all spontaneous because we all do stuff last minute. Like we may get a call today and be like, okay, in 3 days we're going to the Bahamas. Like that's just how me and my friends roll. I love the spontaneous part of it. Nothing is really planned. A lot of people be like, oh, you didn't invite me, you didn't call me and tell me to come to this, that, and third. Man, a lot of stuff that you see, we literally will wake up, me and my friends will wake up and say we going today or tomorrow. Friend crushes, tease or be supportive. So you said a crush on another friend? I'm supportive of that. No, I'm not, because I always feel like this. When you get involved with your friend, that's when it goes left. Like, no matter if it's like, okay, y'all may bump around 1 or 2 times, this, that, and the third. It's never the same after. Like, I don't know what it is. I probably had like 1 or 2 homegirls that kept it P. But other than that, people don't keep it P after you are like friends and you get into an involvement with them. Like, people don't know how to, they'll get jealous. They won't start watching your every move and y'all all of a sudden become more than friends. Like, no, that's always weird. I try to stay clear to that, especially in like a group of friends where it's like y'all gonna always see each other or hang out type of thing. Cause some people you can just call a friend and you don't really see them. So it's cool. But like, if this like somebody that's like in your core group of friends, I say avoid it by all means possible, man. All right, man. So before I go, just know that everybody walk in life is going to be different. I think that we all get caught up into thinking that just because somebody decides to go left and we went right, if somebody decides to turn on First Street and we turned on Second Street, that they're wrong. Man, we all gonna get to one destination. Like, we have to stop letting social media get in our head and think that we're behind or we're missing something because we're at this age, or, looking at the next person's blessings and not understanding why they got this or that. I think that we all have to know that we will get it in our own divine time, man. And I think that we have to trust and believe in God and just wait for that moment. And, you know, some days it's going to be good, some days it's going to be bad. One thing I learned dealing with that flu, man, I was in my darkest hours. You know, I ain't think it was no tomorrow, but I live to see another day. I still ain't 100%, but I'm just glad that I was here for episode 5 of the Kev Gotti Show. Man, we are going up. Y'all have been doing y'all thing on the YouTube. We just continue to grow. I haven't seen a decline in episodes. I'm trying to keep, you know, the algorithm going here, making sure the shows drop on time on Mondays. It was hard trying to be here today. Look, you see, I ain't got no haircut or nothing. I just came. I went into the closet. I went into my closet. I'm like, yo, what we throwing on? Let me get down here to the show and let's do it. And I think that that's all that we can do. I just got to keep going, you know? And we get caught up into, oh, well, I'm tired of posting. It ain't do this, so I ain't get that call yet. I ain't do that. Keep going. Keep going. That's one thing that I have been doing. And I told y'all I was going to continue to do that. Like, I just was looking back at the YouTube. Excuse me. Y'all, I'm pray for your boy. I'm still getting over it. But I was just looking back at the YouTube and I have been seeing how we have came so far from just like 6 months ago. Like, I remember I didn't even know what direction I wanted to go in because of everything that was going on. But we released old stories. So look back 6 months ago and just think how far I've come from then. Like, just looking at minor progresses and the wins that I've taken then. Like, things that I have now that I didn't have then, just knowing that I'm living in answered prayers and just appreciating the steps along the way. And, you know, just appreciating my walk, man. This is episode 5. I will see y'all next week for episode 6. It's your boy Gotti. Y'all stay safe, stay masked up out there. That sickness is going around. You know, I wish I had more pop culture for y'all, but ain't nothing going on in the pop culture world. Ain't nothing going on but the flu. And Trump and his strikes on Venezuela. You know, it's just a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Hopefully we get some new music soon. You know, all the labels and stuff should be open up for the new year. I'm ready to check out Hot 97 new thing that I need to make a correction on from episode 5. You know, I said that they were replacing Ebro in the morning. And I think that we all drew a narrative as usual. So shout out to Hot 97. They hired those 3 co-hosts. They will be doing a new show live from Atlanta. You know, sounds pretty good. Sounds similar to, you know, what your boy was trying to, what your boy sold to Bounce TV with the 4ATL of it all. But, you know, I'm glad to see a news show like that with 3 people. You know, that is great. That is great. New York, are we next? Call me. It's your boy Kev Gotti, man. I am out. Is sick with this flu. Happy New Year to all of y'all. I've been MIA because I've been just trying to make it out. But episode 6 is done. Well, what do we go? Episode 6? Episode 6 is done. It's time for episode 7. Hopefully I'm feeling better. You know, it's early in the world. Everybody behaving. Ain't no hot topics or nothing like that going on. But I still had to come through and holler at the Gotti gang. So, it's your boy Gotti. Y'all know the drill. Episode 6 is out now. Hit the link.